statue that you can see behind me is of Anubis, who is the Egyptian god associated with death. He looked after mummification process and embalming process. He was also the protector of the dead, and that's really his role here today. He's protecting the Tutankhamun exhibition as it leaves America and heads for the UK. The Tutankhamun exhibition at the O2 opens on the 15th of November, has fantastic treasures from Tutankhamun's tomb, but also from ancient Egypt around about the same time. There are about 130 objects altogether. It really tells the story of the boy king Tutankhamun, who actually only lived till 18, but is probably one of the most famous ancient Egyptian pharaohs that there ever was.
Anubis, the god with a jackal head, is a deity of the Egyptian mythology connected to life after death. The god is one of the most ancient Egyptian deities, and therefore his role changed as the centuries went by. Anubis was already considered the main deity linked to death and the underworld's god, but this role was transferred to the god Osiris. The jackal god was also considered the god of embalming and mummifications. In funeral rites, it was common to see a priest wearing a jackal mask during the mummification process. The god was also considered as the protector of tombs and cemeteries, therefore protecting the bodies of those who went to the underworld. Anubis is the son of the goddess Nephthys, wife of Set. But his son was not born of the union with her husband, since Nephthys had been disguised as the goddess Isis, and so she mingled with Osiris. Set, coming to terms with that act of disloyalty, plotted against Osiris, killing him and scattering his body parts throughout Egypt. After Isis gathered all the parts, Anubis helped the goddess during the god's funeral ritual. So Anubis transformed the body of Osiris into the first mummy. Anubis became the deity that led the spirit of the dead to the underworld, where the dead would be judged by a court presided over by Anubis. The god placed the deceased's heart in Osiris's scale and the feather of truth on the other side. If the heart was heavier than the feather, it indicated that it was full of wickedness. He was then delivered to Ammit, a demonic creature known as the Heart Devourer. If the feather was heavier than the light heart of the soul of the righteous and good, Anubis would take the person to Osiris, and the deceased stepped into life after death. In the period of Greek rule over Egypt, the god Anubis was associated with Hermes, which in Greek mythology is also a deity that led souls to the underworld. This association gave rise to a deity called Hermanubis, which became popular during the period of Roman rule. Anubis is certainly one of the most popular divinities in Egyptian mythology, the god accountable to lead souls to the afterlife.
Every time you go to the airport, you can't miss this guy, the blue horse with the beet red eyes staring at you as you drive up to the main terminal. Well, now he's getting a friend. Check this out. It's Anubis, also known in Egypt as the god of death. And now it's hanging out at the airport. Fox 31's Kim Posey joins us live tonight from DIA. Kim, we'll start with the obvious. What were they thinking putting the god of death at the airport?
Well, Ron, the statue is here paving the way for the King Tut exhibit that's going to be coming at the end of the month. The statue was erected right here on the south side of the terminal earlier today, and a lot of people are really excited about it. But some find it a little bit odd that the Egyptian god of the dead would be looking in on an airport where some people are afraid to be anyway. It's not the pyramids, it's DIA.
That's an interesting image to have here at the airport.
A statue of Anubis, the ancient Egyptian god of the dead, is going up here ahead of the King Tut exhibit.
I wanted a picture of that.
Art enthusiasts are really excited.
He's here to pave the way for King Tutankhamen's treasures to come to the Denver Art Museum.
But some travelers aren't sure if they feel more or less secure at security with Anubis looking in.
If it's the god of death, I wouldn't exactly be putting it out in front of the airport.
For some,
how do I find him, get it?
it's just not very reassuring.
It's kind of weird, especially being at an airport, bad voodoo.
DIA already has the sculpture of the big blue Mustang with the glowing red eyes.
It scared me. I was kind of scared.
The statue fell on its creator and killed him, and some affectionately call him Blucifer.
What do we call it? A demon?
Now this latest edition of artwork could challenge the horse's notoriety.
Definitely an odd choice.
He may be the god of the dead, but this jackal-headed statue doesn't have glowing red eyes, and lots of travelers were actually really excited to see him.
I like it.
This is one of those new breeds that's been around for thousands of years.
Para poder participar en esta conferencia para introducir
My name is Tara, and in this video today we're talking about Oculus Anubis. This place has a strange background and history. It kind of has this cultish or Illuminati background. It's just weird mystery history. So before I show you the rest of the video, I want to show you what Oculus Anubis is really about. This place is located in Damascus, Oregon. This place is mostly explored by teenagers at night, but it tends to be more eerie and creepy. So deep in the woods of Damascus, Oregon, sits this temple of Oculus Anubis. The population of Damascus is just over 11,000, and this town is the last place that you would expect something eerie to happen. It's located in a residential neighborhood at the end of a really long cul-de-sac. We actually know a lady named Sharon. She's the owner of the home, and we were able to visit this place. The gates were open for us, and as you go down the driveway, there's this 40-plus foot tall statue thing that she has. I'll show you right here. So as you can see in the video, this place has many side trails and paths that go down. The property is really big, and it's pretty eerie. And if you look, you can see that the statues that she has on her property are pretty cultish. I can see the cultish references here with all these statues that they have. I mean, like, look at this one. This one has water filled in down below, and you can almost see the stairs going down under the water. And this is some sort of rock doorway that they have. I wonder why they have this. It's pretty creepy. It's just a rock that looks like it has a doorway on it that you could open. I'm not really sure what's behind there. And I wonder why they have it like that. And some of the mysterious things that people have said about this place is that there are tunnels underground, which there seem to be, and there's permits that show it. And for some reason, all of the permits that were taken out on this house are done by Natalia, which is the owner's daughter-in-law. Actually, ex-daughter-in-law. She was married to her son. And there's plenty of evidence that the tunnels are built or being built, which is kind of weird. So it turns out that the owner of this house, not Sharon, but her late husband, used to run an eye care practice in Damascus, Oregon, and he eventually was busted for fraud. He was fraudulently billing out of that practice, and it said that the money that they had fraudulently received was used for the tunnels at the home. They were building a 35,000 square foot home next to the main home that was on the property, and they were going to have tunnels that run from the original home out to the new home. And you can also see in the documents here where they ended up going into bankruptcy over this. And I'm going to show you what this place is really all all about. It's kind of a lot. There's statues and fixtures on this property. I don't know if it's just something that they're into, the Egyptian style, or if this is just kind of the art that they like and they have it out on their property. Anyways, we went down there, we met Sharon. With Sharon's permission, I was able to take some pictures and take some video of what we were doing that day. So we were gonna move the line into the garage, but then Natalia and her mother, they both still live on the property out there. They came down the driveway, they were unhappy with what we were doing, and they were filming us, and they were just pretty much filming everything that we were doing down there. And I asked Sharon, what is she doing? Why is she filming us? And Sharon had informed me that there's actually cameras out there everywhere. They're on the trees, they're on the house. They film everything that goes on out there. So I ended up turning off my camera so I don't have actual footage of that because they were upset that we were down there. There was some sort of dispute going on between Sharon, the owner, and Natalia, the ex-daughter-in-law. Natalia, who claims that she owns the home and that Sharon is just actually a tenant living there, even though Sharon has owned this home since 1971. So I'm not real sure what was going on with that, but we didn't want to be a part of it, so we ended up leaving. And as we were leaving, they continued to tell us that we were trespassing and that they didn't want us there and that they were going to call the cops. And we ended up leaving before anything had happened. We were leaving, and as soon as we left the gates to get out onto the main road, we could actually see all the cop cars that were coming. They were just like boom, 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 one after another.
My, what a peculiar place to have a party. You know, Dino, we really shouldn't be doing this. After all, we haven't been invited. And curiosity often leads to trouble. Goodbye, Dinah. Goodbye.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole.
It's the Lion Gate, and you can see, like, and you can see why there's two lions each side of. Another thing, the name, the Christian name for it is St. Stephen Gate. Because Stephen went out. The Muslim name is St. Mary Gate. Maria, because the Muslims believe in the Holy Family, and they actually worship the tomb of Mary. Yeah. They worship the tomb of Mary. Then in that case, you can understand why it's so important. Then let's go into the city. And as you can see, the people are coming to pray, and it's like a market time. The wall, yes. There's no reason to die today. The walls are from the 16th century, then the doors are from the 16th century too. Now, look to your left side. You can see the Muslims entering into the Temple Mount. Be careful! Yeah, I know. Then you can see the Muslims are going in to pray. But we are going to...
Let's break it down. Now, I was shot. I'm DI Alex Drake. I saw the bullet and I thought, this is it. Alex, this is how it ends. The result of that act was my arrival in this dystopia. My mind creates a dark, twisted place for me to go to. My brain is in severe trauma. Therefore, everything here is significant.
Like this was your destiny.
Like Ben Kenobi in Star Wars.
Now, where does that leave me? My name is Alex Drake. I've just been shot, and that bullet has sent me back to 1981. I may be 1 second away from life, or 1 second away from death.
Right, well, as you know, we've all been waiting on a new DI. Welcome on board, Inspector.
This is a full sensory hallucination. You're not real.
One more word out of you, Mrs. Fruitcake, and I'm going to hang you out a window by your knicker elastic. This is the real deal.
We are waiting for you.
You want to sleep on the job? Join the fire brigade.
On the 10th of October 1981, somebody killed my mum and dad. Maybe I can save them. Maybe that's why I'm here.
Has anybody asked you about making a bomb?
Seems to me that I've got something you need, Alex.
I have to prove to my subconscious that I am its master. And that is how we'll get home. Oh my God, it's happening now. I'm strong enough to wake up.
Alex!
They say that as you die, your life flashes before you. Well, bring it on. My life can flash away as much as it likes because I am not going to die.
The sequel to the hit series Life on Mars, Ashes to Ashes. Saturday, March 7th on BBC America. In England's most exclusive boarding school, one student has gone missing.
Something bad has happened to Joy.
Another has taken her place.
I don't totally trust her. Why? Because she's American.
And everyone has something to hide.
Her friends won't be a problem. You mark my words.
This January, the hit series known around the world comes to U.S. television for the first time.
There is some sort of conspiracy going on.
And it's unlike anything you've ever seen before.
What if Joy's still here?
Follow the clues.
She's determined to find out what's happened.
He must be determined to make sure she never does.
And unlock the secrets.
Oh, the man who kills. He wants to stay forever. He wants to tip the scales of life.
As these 8 students will get even closer to the mystery.
Tell me what's going on down the cellar, Trisha.
And each other.
You genius!
Falls off his chair in amazement.
Coincidence? I think not.
Who can you trust?
I asked you to keep a secret.
Who should you fear?
I can, and I will, bring your time at this school to an end.
And the plot thickens, as they say.
In the House of Anubis, the brand new series kicks off with a 2-night premiere event, Saturday, January 1st at 8.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
I think we have.
Only on Nick.
Sirius is said to have been the most important star in the ancient world. It was considered the brightest star in the heavens, many times brighter than the sun. The Great Pyramid was built to synchronize with Sirius, so that the light of this star would shine into the Queen's chamber, supposedly to cast a beam upon an initiate during a ritual.
May corn, wine, and oil, and all the necessaries of life abound among the people of the world. And may this building be continued and preserved to the latest ages.
What do these things really signify? Could it be an occult ceremony representing some sort of demonic conspiracy, as some suggest? Or is it merely a harmless practice to honor an ancient tradition?
Good morning! Morning, Truman! Morning, Spencer! Hey, Pluto. Oh, no. Hey, he won't hurt you.
This is a Muslim home. Why does Anubis hold out his hand for me?
It is my thanks. You were once a girl with your own teacher, who taught you the ways of Egypt old. But when the Nile was full and flooding, she told you stories of the wolf and the jackal, the red wind, and of the child of Bast.
I remember.
You do. For that, I bring you to the scales.
The devil, Satan, Lucifer, the dragon, whatever you want to call him,
He is simply brilliant at portraying himself in a way that is contrary to what the Word of God shows him or reveals him to be. He is exposed as the enemy of God in the scriptures, the enemy of the true God, and he is also the enemy of our souls, of humankind. He is trying to deceive the entire world into believing his lies, into joining him in eternal destruction, which is his fate. And, you know, so many TV shows and movies are depicting him in this way, as if he's a savior, as if he's a good guy, as if he is benevolent. This show reminds me really of another TV show that we have touched on at times called Lucifer. You will recall this came out in, I believe, September of 2016. Yet again, depicting good old Lucifer, you know, right in our faces, the devil, as a benevolent, as a good guy, coming and helping the police department and using his power supposedly for good. So, you know, this is not a new theme. Lucifer is being portrayed as the good guy, and in my opinion, is total propaganda for what is coming and what they are conditioning the world to be prepared for. And, you know, right on the poster of this show, it says, believe. So believe in what? I will never believe in any of these so-called American gods, or Lucifer for that matter, as to what we're being shown here. But according to IMDb, it says that a recently released ex-convict named Shadow meets a mysterious man who calls himself Wednesday. Now keep that name Shadow and Wednesday in mind, and who knows more than he first seems to about Shadow's life and past. So as we look at some screenshots, we'll see that Shadow here is lying in his jail cell. And again, he's the main character. And keep in mind, or keep this in mind as we look at this trailer, Shadow here is getting released early due to his wife dying, or supposedly dying. And also note all this light that is all over him is actually from lightning. It is not from sunlight or moonlight. It is lightning that is flashing outside. So we will get to that a little later on as to why we're seeing all this lightning all over the place. And as we keep going, we'll see that Shadow, when he attends his wife's funeral, flips a gold coin into his wife's grave. And so can you notice something quite interesting on the coin? As soon as I saw that, the fact that it's gold, the fact that it's got the sun god insignia right on the coin itself, I believe this is a direct reference to sun worship, to the fact that the elites, the Jesuits, the Illuminati, all of the pagans, the Satanists, whatever you want to call them, they worship the sun god, they worship Lucifer, and I believe that society is being prepared for this, for his arrival very, very soon. And, you know, for any doubters and scoffers out there who can wonder why I can jump to such a conclusion, the reason is we are being shown the same kind of sun god symbolism in many of the TV shows and movies and books and even children's cartoons. The arrival of the sun god is yet more pagan symbolism that is constantly being shown to us.
You die easily for a god! I am nobody. Nobody. But when the son of Ra stands on the mountain and says, do it, it gets done. Next, you told them to murder! I am not sorry. Is Bayak of Siwa sorry? I lost my family. You lost your family. We have the right to do anything we want to anyone.
I am Adora, He-Man's twin sister and defender of the Crystal Castle. This is Spirit, my beloved steed. Fabulous secrets were revealed to me the day I held aloft my sword and said, "For the honor of Grayskull!" I am She-Ra! Only a few others share this secret. Among them are Light Hope, Madame Raz, and Cowl. Together, we and my friends of the Great Rebellion strive to free Etheria from the evil forces of Hordak.
And they are preparing society for that very thing. And, you know, interestingly enough, we see the same sun god coin all of a sudden disappears into the ground. So is that depicting that something is about to happen? Is something about to be birthed into this world? But also, could it be some sort of resurrection event that is about to occur, courtesy of the sun god? Because this coin all of a sudden disappears or sinks into the same earth that Shadow's wife is buried in. So are we going to see something later on? We will definitely find out. So stay tuned. Now, we see more lightning being shown. I believe this is a direct reference to Lucifer falling like lightning from heaven. And remember, we were shown lightning already. We're going to see it again later on. So you will see, the fact that Yeshua said that he saw Lucifer fall like lightning from heaven. This is yet again symbolism that is shown to us in many movies and TV shows and video games, children's cartoons, what have you. This is constantly being shown because Lucifer loves to leave his signature.
Blue, the new number 5, Chanel.
Now, as we keep going, we'll see Shadow now meets a mysterious person who, when asked his name, Shadow asked Shadow what day of the week it is, which is Wednesday. So this man, so Shadow is asking him what's his name, and he says, what's the day of the week? And so he says Wednesday just happens to be this guy's name. And so, do you know what the significance of Wednesday is? But before we get to that, Shadow also tells Wednesday that his full name is Shadow Moon. So I found that quite interesting because I believe that is a direct reference to the moon goddess, a mother goddess worship. I believe that's what we're being shown here. That the fact that this man who portrays himself or uses a, feminine kind of name, Shadow Moon, why would that be other than the fact that they are promoting moon goddess worship, not only sun god worship, but moon goddess, Nimrod, and Mystery Babylon, Ishtar, Isis, the same old thing over and over again. We constantly see the reference to the moon goddess.
Celebrating all Pokemon trainers. It all comes together in an all-new Pokemon adventure. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Available worldwide in 9 languages.
Parker. This film was about time.
What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour!
Okay, this is what they love to show, and we saw this even in movies and books like The Shack, where the moon goddess, or this mother father goddess in the same thing is being shown constantly over and over again. So the fact that a man is calling himself, Shadow Moon, I believe is a direct reference to the moon goddess, but of course being displayed as a man this time. But anyways, Wednesday, what's the significance of Wednesday? This man, played by Ian McShane, this man's name is Wednesday, and he's the other main character of this particular show. So what's with this guy's name? Okay, what just happens to be the significance of his name? Well, interestingly enough, before we get to that, you will know that Ian McShane played quite a devilish kind of character in the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie. He played Blackbeard, a very powerful being that had quite the significant abilities in that movie. So he was able to control a lot of different things through this sword or something like that. But anyways, he was a very powerful person, had all kinds of mysterious powers. And so, I believe, again, we're being shown, this man who is not a stranger to playing this kind of role. And so when we look at this this word Wednesday, why is he being named after a day of the week? Some of us might not realize that the days of the week are actually named after pagan gods. And so Sunday becomes Sun God Day. Monday is Moon's Day. Go figure. Tuesday is supposed to be, whereas they're associated with Mars. Wednesday means Woden's Day, or in Norse, Odin. So the Old Norse is equivalent to Mercury, who was the messenger to the gods and the Roman god of commerce, travel, and science. He was considered the chief god and leader in the wild hunt, in Anglo-Saxon mythology.
Hey guys, it's Rowan Thorson again. Just wanted to share with you my altar this evening. This one is dedicated to Odin, because today's Wednesday, it's Woden's Day.
Odin reigned from high above, in his throne in Asgard, but, despite being quite a sagacious god, he was aware that he didn't know everything, and so he began a quest for wisdom. He disguised himself as a wanderer, and started to roam in Jotunheim, the land of the giants, enemies of the gods. Mimir lived in this kingdom, a quite ancient deity who was Odin's uncle. There, he lived next to the Well of Knowledge. The waters of this well fed Yggdrasil, the Tree of the Worlds. Mimir, using the horn of Galahorn, drank the bled water, and so his knowledge about the world kept expanding. Odin arrived at his uncle's well and asked to drink a bit of the water of knowledge. "Mimir, I'm your nephew and lord of the gods, but how can I be worthy of my title if I cannot reach true wisdom?"
"Being a relative of mine or lord of the gods don't give you the right to drink from my well. The price is too high."
"Tell me what's the price then, because I'm willing to pay it."
"The price is your eye. I want you to pluck your eye out and throw it into the well, and so you can drink from it."
Odin knew that Mimir was not someone fond of bluffing and jokes, and realized that he would need to pay a high price if he wanted to reach true wisdom. The great god didn't hesitate, and indeed, he plucked his eye out. Odin placed his eye inside the water of the well, and the sacrifice pleased Mimir. He offered him a horn with water of his well, and asked the god to drink everything at once. After having drunk the contents of the vessel, the father of all got filled with knowledge. The place once occupied by his eye was replaced with a major scar, which sometimes emanated an intense brightness. Odin then became known as the One-Eyed, or the One of the Flaming Eye. From that day forward, Odin started to see the world with much more clarity, and now, with just one eye, he could see much better than he had with both.
Around the base of the statue is my Odin prayer beads, which has two symbols. One is the raven, which is the symbol for Odin's two pet ravens, Hugin and Munin, which fly all around the world, gathering news and information and bringing it back to him. And the other is the Valknut, which is three interlaced triangles.
Why did you bring us back?
You realize what you've done, what you've started?
I was protecting my home.
You cannot even protect your friends. How can you hope to protect the kingdom? Get into the healing room. No!
There won't be a kingdom to protect if you're afraid to act. The Jotuns must learn to fear me, just as they once feared you.
That's pride and vanity talking, not leadership. You've forgotten everything I taught you. But a warrior's patience.
While you wait and be patient, the Nine Realms laugh at us. The old ways are done. You'd stand giving speeches while Asgard falls.
You are a vain, greedy, cruel boy!
And you are an old man and a fool!
Was a fool to think you were ready.
Father.
Hey! Thor, Odin's son, you have betrayed the express command of your king. Through your arrogance and stupidity, you have opened these peaceful realms and innocent lives to the horror and desolation of war! You are unworthy of these realms. You're unworthy of your title. You're unworthy of the loved ones you have betrayed. I now take from you your power. In the name of my father and his father before, I Odin, your father, cast you out! Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Okay, so basically this is Odin. This is what is being depicted here. This man who calls himself Wednesday is not a man. He is being depicted, or basically really a pagan god or a satanic god or Satan himself, Odin. Okay, yet another form of Satan, in my opinion, is what we are being shown here. And Thursday, of course, is Thor's day, which is the son of Odin. Okay, so in the Norse mythology, we'll see that Odin, all right, is one of the most complex and enigmatic characters in Norse mythology and perhaps in all of the world of literature. He's the chief of the Aesir tribe of deities, yet he often ventures far from their kingdom Asgard on long solitary wanderings throughout the cosmos on purely self-interested quests.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Have you ever traveled through time? We do it every day.
Asgardia is a country with a population of more than 1 million people from more than 200 countries on Earth. Asgardia gives everyone equal opportunities, no matter what their earthly status is.
It is possible to create and live in the future right now. Are you ready? Forward progress is the solution to the entire human race. Our mission is to bridge new horizons. In Asgardia, there is no limit to the universal development in the fields of technology, finance, and arts. Asgardia is a new space and digital economy which creates opportunities for the global economy. We deliver innovations. Do you want to get on board with us? We are developing various kinds of digital businesses, attracting them to the Asgardia platform that can be backed by the means of our umbrella, i.e. franchising of the Asgardia brand. We can not only attract investments into space programs from prominent institutional investors, but also affordable amounts from the citizens of Asgardia. We comprise of more than 1 million people.
Asgardia is a chance to realize one's dream. This is a dream-driven space nation. Asgardia is a chance to belong to a community of free-thinking enthusiasts, goal-driven dreamers, and fearless innovators, theorists, and scientists.
We are the first space nation. One humanity, one unity.
Asgardia.
We are creating
the future.
He is a relentless seeker after and giver of wisdom, but he has little regard for communal values such as justice, fairness, or respect for law and convention. He is the divine patron of rulers and also of outcasts. He is a war god, but also a poetry god. He has prominent effeminate qualities that would have brought unspeakable shame to any historical Norse or Germanic warrior. He's worshipped by those in search of prestige, honor, and nobility, yet he's often cursed for being a fickle trickster. So similar to Loki, you've also got that duality where he can be, similarly, or seemingly noble, but he's also a fickle trickster. Notice that he's got the white beard as well. Similar to whom? Similar to this guy, to good old Santa Claus. Okay, so really Santa Claus is yet another, he's a great imposter of the true God, alright, and Santa Claus also, if we look at this article, where did Santa come from? Nearly all Santa researchers agree that some traits of Santa was borrowed from Norse or Scandinavian mythology. So, some Santa researchers associate Santa with the Norse god of Odin or Woden. Alright, so we've got the same thing with the white beard, okay, nothing more than a pagan deity or basically a representation of Satan himself is what I believe Odin is, okay, and again, the fact that he is the chief of all these gods and lightning follows this guy. What also is quite interesting about Odin is that it says down here, it says that Odin actually sacrificed himself. It says here that on another occasion, Odin sacrificed himself to himself by hanging on the world tree, Yggdrasil, for 9 days and nights, receiving no form of nourishment from his companions. At the end of this ordeal, he perceived the runes, the magically charged ancient Germanic alphabet that was held to contain many of the greatest secrets of existence. So it's like talking about enlightening, even like the Buddha, even like how the Illuminati depicts themselves as being enlightened. But to me, this is a complete mockery of the sacrifice that Yeshua made for us. He didn't die for himself. He died for us. But of course, good old Satan, he's all about himself. So we're really seeing what Satan is all about, really just a selfish being. And, the fact that Yggdrasil, when it talks about Odin being sacrificed on the tree of the world.
Yggdrasil is the tree of the worlds in Norse mythology. This colossal tree is the most perfect tree that ever existed. Its roots are so profound that they reach the three most distant worlds. These are Jotunheim, Niflheim, and Helheim. Jotunheim, the frozen kingdom and land of the Jontar, also known as the Ice Giants, was ruled by the king of the Jontar, the giant Thrym. Niflheim, in turn, is a desolated and shadowy world where the ice and the freezing mists make everything even more sinister. This is where Nithog, the giant dragon, lives, who is constantly gnawing at the roots of Yggdrasil. Helheim is the kingdom of Hel, also known as Hela. This is the world of the dead in the Norse mythology. This world is inhabited by the spectra of souls of those who died without glory. Nithavalir, the land of the doors, is located above these three profound kingdoms. These beings were quite skillful and capable of impressive things, like Thor's hammer, for instance. Right above the kingdom of the dwarves is Midgard, the land of men and women. This kingdom was surrounded by walls, edified by the gods to protect men. There was also the world of Alfheim, the kingdom of the light elves, creatures of great beauty. Svartalheim also existed, the home of the evil elves, black like tar. Muspelheim is the world of the fire giants, where Surtur live, whose fate is to destroy the Bifrost Bridge, which connects Asgard to the remaining worlds. Vanaheim is the home of the Vanar, for being the land of the gods of fertility, grains, and fruits spring up from the soul in vast amounts. This is the homeland of the goddess Freyr and Freya, offspring of Njord, the Vanar god of the seas. Lastly, in the greatest parts of Yggdrasil is Asgard, the kingdom of the gods Aesir, where Odin ruled sovereignty on his throne. This is also the location of Valhalla, the place where the great warriors who had an honored dead in the battlefield will go to. A giant eagle named Vidrifnir lived on the top of the worlds. The eagle is the arch enemy of the dragon Nithog, and the hate between both creatures was fed by the squirrel Ratatoskr, which ran up and down the world, carrying the insults of both. The squirrel's greatest source of amusement was to amplify the insults it carried even more, and witness the angered reactions of the eagle and the dragon. The leaves and the fruits of the Yggdrasil tree had magical properties. Eating just one of its fruits healed any wound, and some said that its leaves could even retrieve a life already lost. Yggdrasil will always remain beautiful and green, but it will tremble with Ragnarok's arrival.
Funny enough, here's this depiction of Yggdrasil, this tree that Odin supposedly sacrificed himself on for himself. But interesting, you've got right there, to me, a depiction of the flat earth map, yet again in our faces, you know, subtly and cryptically, the flat earth, the true model of our cosmos, of the cosmology.
Force field. It's a dome. We're at the edge of the arena.
So really, we are being shown these things. When you dig into it, we can see what this man is about. So the fact that he calls himself Wednesday, I believe, in my humble opinion, that we are seeing a depiction of Odin / Satan, whatever you want to call him. It is the same thing. We're seeing the father goddess, or the Nimrod worship. We're seeing in this man the fact that he calls himself Shadow Moon. We are seeing the representation of the moon goddess, of the female, and you got these two, kind of working together. So again, I think even a homosexual kind of reference as well, when you got the mother goddess being depicted as a man, the hermaphroditic, the male for female, female for male, the duality, whatever you want to call it, the same kind of thing is being shown in a very, very messed up, twisted kind of way. So as we keep going, we'll see yet again lightning falling from heaven, and Wednesday says to Shadow, I could use a fellow like you, just as we see the lightning flashing through the skies. So we've already seen the meaning behind Wednesday, which is basically Satan, Odin, Zeus, Lucifer. The fact that it's connected to the lightning. We saw the same thing in Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and yet again Zeus with his lightning bolt. So this reference to lightning, and the fact that Odin and Thor also have to do with lightning, one of their main powers, now we can see what this character Wednesday is all about.
We walked arm in arm, but I didn't feel his touch. When you love so long that the thrill is gone, then I ask you now.
Beware of angels.
What's a girl to do?
Angel by Thierry Mugler, the eau de parfum.
He is none other than Satan himself, Lucifer, falling like lightning from heaven. The fact that Zeus is always depicted with a lightning bolt. The fact that Odin is depicted as one of his powers as lightning, same as his son Thor. The same thing we are constantly being shown over and over and over again.
Mental health issues affect people of all ages, income levels, and cultures. No one is immune. Advocate for and promote mental well-being in your life and to those around you. You're not alone. The more you know.
Yeah, well, to bring the topic of mental health, I think it should be talked about a lot more, especially with athletes, because I know some of us are going through the same things and we're always told to push through it, but we're all a little bit older now and we could kind of speak for ourselves. But at the end of the day, we're not just entertainment, we're humans, and there are things going on behind the scenes that we're also trying to juggle with as well.
Later on, we see another shot or scene in the trailer where this particular lady says to Wednesday, he does not know our world. I really wonder what they could be possibly talking about. And then Wednesday says, I'm easing him in. So he's trying to console this woman. Don't worry, yeah, this is a new world. We're bringing him into our world, so I'm easing him in. So something tells me that things are about to get real weird for this Shadow Moon as he starts finding out who this Wednesday is really about, or who he really is. And, later on we see Shadow, then he thinks he's losing his mind when he sees his wife literally come back to him. Fancy that. So the sun god coin that we saw earlier on literally had the power to resurrect his dead wife. Are they trying to show that these pagan gods have this power, that these satanic beings have power, just as we showed that coin and with the sun god insignia on it? And
this 1 ounce silver coin is dedicated to the sun god Inca. Thanks to the smart minting technology, it was possible to represent the solar disk, one of the most sacred and valued artifacts of the Inca. This coin has an ultra-high relief, is gold-plated and has a wonderful design. At the bottom of the reverse, the inscription 2021, the year of issue. The obverse of the coin features the coat of arms of Palau, which is set in the inverted dome. All around, the inscriptions: Republic of Palau, the issue country, $5 the face value.
This supernatural coin offer is only available until midnight on October 31st, so act now to secure your coin today. The ultra high relief Ra sun god coin in this set features a detailed depiction of the ancient Egyptian sun god Ra, achieved through exceptional smart minting technology. Legendary Precious Metals currently has exclusive access to these coins in the US, making them an extreme rarity for any interested collectors looking to get one of only 333 minted under this design, and only 100 available in the US. The 3-ounce pure 999 silver coin features an antiqued finish that keeps with the ancient subject matter. This coin's limited availability and low mintage means you should act now to secure your very own Ra Sun God silver-proof coin before supplies run out, and the sale ends at midnight on October 31st, so order yours now.
The fact that this woman who is playing his wife is acting as if nothing happened, as if she's wondering who even told him that, and he thought that, or at least he was told that she was dead. But really, I believe we're being shown that these pagan or these satanic beings can resurrect or have the power to do these things, when really only God, Abba Yahweh, and his son Yeshua have the power. Yeshua himself said that he is the resurrection and the life. All right, so really they have no power to do this kind of thing. And of course we see yet again the woman in red. This time it's a black woman in scarlet red. Is this again a mystery, a reference to Mystery Babylon, which is controlling? She is the one, all the pagan religions, the religions of the devil are controlling all of the people, just as Revelation 17 says that she sits on many waters, controlling multitudes, peoples, tribes, and nations, and also possibly is a pagan ritual or a satanic ritual taking place here due to all the use of the candles here. I believe that possibly a devil ritual is about to take place here. But of course, you can see all the red all over the place. The woman in red is constantly being shown to us. And then Wednesday says to Shadow, you have a choice. Either the world is crazy, and as we see this grotesque image, so yet again, I think we're seeing more human blood sacrifice being shown here. I think major Baal sacrifice or practices is being constantly shown in the mainstream. Is this possibly depicting that the world is gone mad in killing themselves? I wouldn't be surprised if that is what is being shown here. And before I keep going, I really want to show this scripture from Galatians 3, and right in verse 13, it talks about Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having become a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone who hangs on a tree.
O thou who art everlasting, send your servant to guide the dead to new life. Anubis, come forth. You are released. The doors of earth are open to you.
It makes me wonder if whether they're trying to depict a, quite the mockery, as we saw this Shadow's wife being literally, or, in this show, seemingly raised from the dead. Is this a mockery of the sacrifice that Yeshua did for us when he died for us? He was the only one that was resurrected. And so they love to paganize or totally twist and make it seem like these pagan deities or these satanic deities have a way of resurrecting people, but they do not have any such power. So, as we keep going, let's get back to what this picture was of this, depicting this madness of this man here. And what I find quite fascinating is that we are being shown, I believe, the all-out coming of the destruction of mankind, the judgment. I believe we're being shown here, mankind killing themselves. We are being shown right in the book of Revelation as we look at the second seal, conflict on the earth. And it says, when he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, come and see. Another horse, fiery red, went out, and it was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth, that people should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword. Right? Is this completely a reference to Revelation and the second seal in Revelation 6 about peace being taken away from the earth, that people will kill one another? I believe we are possibly being shown this theme because the judgment of the world is coming, that Yeshua is about to come and rescue his people from this world, and then right after that happens, there will be severe consequences and severe judgment will be released upon this world, and people will literally start killing one another. And that is possibly what we are being shown with all this blood sacrifice, with all these Baal practices, humans even eating other humans, eating human flesh, all of this cannibalism, all of this kind of horrible devil Baal practices being shown in so many of these television shows. And
I love bodies. With the Santa Clarita diet, I don't deny myself bodies. I eat bodies every day. Bodies, bodies, bodies. Feet, arms, belly buttons, tushes. That's the genius of this diet. I'm in the best shape of my life, and I have eaten bodies every single day. It's not just a diet, it's a whole new lifestyle.
So Wednesday says to Shadow, you have a choice. Either the world is crazy, okay, and the rest of that sentence is, or you are. So, and he says that as we see this guy's eyes light up when Shadow walks by him. So it looks like Shadow is being shown, these beings in the shadows lurking around are in many places, possibly. So he basically, Wednesday tells Shadow that you have a choice. Either the world will think you're crazy, either the world is crazy, or you are. So really showing that nobody's going to believe him, and that, this stuff is happening, but nobody is going to even, give him the time of day, that people will think that Shadow is crazy. But really, possibly, the devil's agents are lurking around all over the place, and this man's eyes, as you saw in the trailer, lit up like crazy. So something is definitely being shown here.
Ladies, my name is Odd Thomas. Horn nose. I'm not a celebrity, I'm not the child of a celebrity, I've never been married to, abused by, or provided a kidney to a celebrity. But I do lead an unusual life. Knock, knock.
Loop me in, odd one.
This place looks like some kind of shrine.
Did you check the refrigerator for any severed heads?
That is Stormy Llewellyn. Stormy and I are destined to be together forever.
That must be for you.
I found a gateway to hell.
Get out of there, Audie.
Been communing with the dead?
It's not about who's dead, sir. It's about who soon might be.
You have a secret. You're either a clairvoyant, a psychic, or you got yourself some juice with a higher power.
I'm here looking for a guy. Creepy guy.
Any of those Bodax things around?
Bodax. When they do show up, it's a sure sign that carnage and bloodshed are not far behind. If they find out you can see them, they will kill you.
I'm just so scared for you, Audie.
A lot of people died in that dream of yours, huh, Odd?
Yeah, they did.
Your dreams ever come true?
This town is in serious trouble.
I want an APB put out on this guy now!
August 15th. Trust me, that is the day that Pico Mundo will never forget.
The devil wants to take us back to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and he constantly wants to remind us of that, and he thinks that he is the one that gives us enlightenment, that he is the one that is going to cause the apotheosis of man, but he never is going to do that.
You know what, sometimes what you leave out of a story is even more interesting than what you leave in. That happened when we were in Oxford, Maryland. Learned that the pride of that old town was one Robert Morris Jr., the financier of the American Revolution. Years ago, we used to go down to the county library to get a picture of a bird like that, but now we just use the internet. That's where I found this picture here. Now, the caption said it was a shot of the Greek god Mercury handing a bag of loot to Robert Morris, the financier of the American Revolution. Well, that's just a tiny part of a much bigger picture called the apotheosis of Washington. Now, apotheosis is a Greek word that means to make divine. In other words, this painting shows George Washington becoming a god. Now, I never knew that happened. But there it is for all to see, painted under the most famous dome in the whole country, maybe the whole world, the United States Capitol. Now, the most interesting part of this particular heaven are the folks that live in it. Now, you'd expect to see Moses and Abraham and Ezekiel and that crowd hanging around, but not a single fella from the Bible's up there. Now, Minerva, the Roman goddess of crafts and wisdom, is shown delivering an electrical generator and batteries and a printing press to Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Morse, and Robert Fulton. And Neptune, the Roman sea god, and Venus, the goddess of love, are shown helping to lay the transatlantic telegraph cable. I'll bet you they were a big help. Now, there's some other gods, but not a single prophet, apostle, or even a lower archangel in the whole 4,500 square feet. All I know is what I read on the internet, but you hear a lot of talk these days about the religious beliefs of our founding fathers. Now, those boys may have been as devout as saints. We'll never know. One thing's for sure, you'd never tell by looking at Capitol Dome.
And even as we look at Odin, we see him also depicted. You know, speaking of the one eye, the all-seeing eye, we see good old Odin again, of course, has the one eye. He's got the one eye patch that he supposedly suffered in battle. But of course, again, depicting the one eye, you've got the right eye that is closed up here. Yet again, the Illuminati all-seeing eye. You've even got the two horns on him. So really, I believe that is a depiction of Baphomet. Okay, again, the two horns, same kind of thing that we are shown so many times in so many different ways. And I believe it is a depiction of Revelation 13 and the false prophet, the final false prophet, the second beast that comes up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. So again, this is what I believe we are being shown here, that this guy Wednesday, who just happens to be, or Wednesday just happens to be named after Odin, after Woden's Day. That is what Wednesday is. So we are being shown really the worship of Satan, the worship of Odin, the worship of Baphomet, the worship, in my opinion, of the final false prophet who is going to come alongside the beast and be his number one companion, or his number one guy that basically gets everyone to worship the beast, to fall at his image, to worship his image, to take the mark of the beast as well. So really, this is the worship of the false prophet, I believe, that we are being shown here. And so really, in my opinion, this is what American Gods is all about.
Hey, is Zone here yet?
For the millionth time, no. I will budge you the second he gets here. Jeez, I've never seen you so excited. You're like a little girl the morning her brother gets out of jail for beating up a cop. Or Christmas morning.
Michael Faraday!
This is like stepping back in time.
The past is prologue, Michael. Men like us have to keep looking to the future.
You know, I've been going over this Millennium Project proposal. There's some great stuff in here. I do think you should tone down the Armageddon end of days rhetoric.
No need to worry, Michael. I have some good news. I'm the Messiah.
That's a good joke. That's great. You start with that and you keep them light.
No, Michael. I'm Sirius, the chosen one, the King of Kings, the Alpha and the Omega. You're looking at him.
Look, Owen, if this is some kind of joke, let me just say, good one. I get it. That's hot.
I'm as shocked as you are, believe me. I'm as shocked as you are, believe me. This is a big responsibility. I mean, look at this.
Things to do. Banish Satan and the forces of evil. Build a new Jerusalem. Buy milk.
I keep forgetting the big cup of milk.
Oh, you can't be serious.
Look, Michael, I know I'm supposed to be able to do this all by myself, being the Son of God and all. I know I'm supposed to be able to do this all by myself, being the Son of God and all, but I'm feeling a lot of pressure, so I was thinking, maybe you could help me.
Well, you want me to help you, banish Satan and establish God's kingdom on earth?
If you're not too busy.
So, I hear you've been out of the game for a while. Are you sure you're still as sharp as Mike says?
How long have you been dating your secretary?
About a week.
You like this, don't you? Yes, you do. Yeah. All right. That's about all, kiddo. There you go. There you are. You just stay right there, Rags, all right?
Poor Rags. Good dog. He's alive. It's a miracle.
Hello?
Penny, I don't have much time.
Daddy? I don't understand.
It's okay, Penny. You have Bolt.
I've altered him. He can protect you now.
Bolt, speak.
Get that dog!
Nice move.
You'll never see Penny again!
And cut! He's the star of the biggest show in Hollywood.
She's still in danger.
The only problem is...
Hold on, Penny.
He thinks it's all real.
Don't let him out. He's never been off the set before. I'm coming, Penny.
Production of the hit television show Bolt shut down today when its star dog went missing.
You look familiar.
What?
Yeah, he's real good with the faces and such.
I gotta remember, it's gonna kill me. Hold on. No, I don't know. I thought I knew.
I need someone close to the green-eyed man. A cat.
Wow, it's a good knot. Were you in the Navy?
Well, I'll release you, cat, when we find Penny.
Slow down! You're scraping the fur off my...
You must be so scared.
Bolt's not scared of anything.
You're Bolt, the super dog! Where's Penny? She was kidnapped by the green-eyed man, but I've captured this cat.
Oh, you're crazy, man!
She's taking me to Penny.
I can be a valuable addition to your team.
The road will be rough.
I have a ball.
Easy won't be part of the equation.
Promise.
Danger at every turn.
I eat danger for breakfast.
You hungry?
Starving.
This November,
How do you say no way I'm doing this in crazy?
Let it begin.
one unlikely team
Look, genius, you're not a super dog.
is on a mission to get back home.
He could be anywhere by now.
This is awesome!
And the comedy event of the holiday season,
Bolt!
Bolt! is about to be unleashed.
Superbar! Superbar! We need a fast set of wheels. I'll get my ball.
Bolt.
I'm the Messiah. I'm Sirius, the chosen one, the King of Kings, the Alpha and the Omega. You're looking at him.
This is all the worship of Lucifer, depicting him as a good guy, depicting him as a person that could resurrect the dead, but really he does not have those powers. At least he will counterfeit those kinds of powers, so do not be fooled. This is what is being shown to us constantly. Again, as always, you do not have to believe anything that I say. Please do your own research and come to your own conclusions. This is what I believe this show is communicating to us, in my humble opinion. But as always, please be aware of what is being shown to us in plain sight. God bless you.
of life? Oh, you're a box. Very handsome. Commanding. Where did you come from? Now, if my measurements are correct, Great Scott!
So what do you think of my Trump Home mattress collection by Serta? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never count sheep again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to room 9.
Looking good, number 9, looking good.
Where's your dignity?
Now, what will it take for us to get that videotape? The end of the world.
I think you'll agree in that 9/11/2001 was one of the most Hollywood-esque, larger-than-life events that played out on all of our TV screens across the whole world. It's something that we'll never forget. I think most of us can even remember where we were when we found out about what happened and what was going on. I'm sure it doesn't surprise most that are in the truth-seeking community in this time that 9/11 was a satanic ritual. Coming to that conclusion from many different angles, from many different ways, all leading to the same truth, that it was in fact representing the birthing of the new age of Antichrist, the ripping the veil, the bringing in of the beast police state system, and all manner of things, but also a blood sacrifice ritual into the wine press, Samson pushing down the 2 pillars. But this all correlates to what we've been looking into in the last video, what we've been looking into in regards to the cube behind the veil. It all links in together, and in this video we're going to have a look again through Solomon's temple, Herod's temple, how this all correlates to Jesus Christ when he died and rose again, and the veil was ripped in that temple to reveal the cornerstone that was behind the veil. And this all links together with 9/11 and many different things. So let's have a look at this. So 9/11/2001, IXXI. Many believe, or some believe, that Jesus himself was born on 9/11 3 BC, which is pretty interesting because 9/11/2001 is an inversion of that, 9/11/2001 3 AD. But this event, this horrific event that happened on 9/11/2001, we've discussed this before in terms of the 2 pillars, like Samson pushing down the 2 pillars, north and south, plus and minus, just like the pillars in Freemasonry, Yashin and Boaz, plus and minus. So the male and female, the parents, and just like that Samson figure pushing it down in the Bible. And then you've got the child here, which in terms of what we're looking at the moment, as I say, there's many different ways of understanding the nature of this satanic ritual, because there's many different paths and roads that lead to the same conclusion. But the World Trade Center 7 representing that cornerstone. Now remember, Jesus Christ is our true cornerstone, and this all involves inverting. It's to do with the Antichrist. They're trying to bring in, they're trying to open the pit, they're trying to bring in the Antichrist and the age of the Antichrist. So that involves smashing this cornerstone as per usual, smashing this stone. So just to put it very simply, this is exactly what we're looking at when we look at that. We're looking at the figure pushing down the 2 pillars and the veil breaking, just like when Jesus died on the cross and the veil was rent, and the cube collapsing, the cornerstone collapsing behind the veil. Now, G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. So that is exactly what that's representing there, including the generative principle. But you see how when these pillars come down, collapsing the cube, the cornerstone, G equals 7, building 7, and then rebuilding into a new tower, which would be the transfigured 3rd temple. but of the material world. Because when Jesus Christ defeated the curse, ripped the veil, and defeated death and sin, which is, we'll go into in another video how we see the truth of the gospel through this. He rose again in the true third temple. Jesus Christ is the temple of the living God. He rose again out of the curse of sin and death. The grave could not hold him, and he rose again and became our true third temple. And when we're in the body of Christ, we are safe in our Father's hands. So that G, as we looked before, the Tesseract, the GameCube, is to do with portal. Remember, ripping the fabric of time and space. And it's all represented, as I've shown before, here and here again, the two towers with that G in the centre, bringing in Lucifer, opening the window. And 9/11 being a sacrifice into the winepress, level 7 in the womb, the winepress. And the blood of the innocent, as they always do in these satanic rituals, into the winepress. So essentially we're looking at this figure here, Samael, Samson, son of Samael, son of Satan, pushing down these two pillars. You see, this is the Freemasonic G, the square and the compass that he's standing in between and pushing down the two pillars. And of course, building 7 was collapsed. So he was, you remember the story of Samson, when he pushed down the pillars, he was killed. So that would be the same kind of allegory there, the bringing down that and rising into a new tower, rising into a new transfigured tower, the One World Trade Center. And this is what it's all about, IXXI. IXXI is 9/11 in Roman numerals. And look what is in the center of IXXI. It's a hexagon, which is a 3-dimensional cube. And that's what it was all about. It was a direct inversion of when Jesus Christ died on the cross and the veil was rent. This is exactly an inversion. See, that World Trade Center 7, the collapse, the smashing of the cornerstone, a direct inversion of Christ, this is what they're representing, you see. It's the same as the breaking of the egg, the cracking open of the egg, and the rising of the son of Lucifer. You see what's in the center there. It's about portals, it's about opening the womb, it's dimensional, it's ripping the fabric of time and space, bringing down the two pillars of our society in many different ways. Remember, all of these have different layers of meaning, because the spiritual is incredibly deep, and it doesn't just kill one bird, it kills multiple birds with one stone, cracking open the egg, that cube. And this being XX, which is the seal of Saturn, and the compass draws the circle, and this is a square, that's time and space. This is all about bringing down the reality in which we live, essentially, and rebuilding into their new age of Horus Luciferian age that they're trying to desperately to bring in. Remember, 9/11 happened just after the millennium. It happened in 9/11/2001, just after the big hype about the millennium. You see the way that this works? You see the way that Satan is constantly copying, counterfeiting, and the way that Satan is constantly desperate. This is what it's all about, because Jesus Christ, when he died on the cross, he cracked through time and space, because he died on the sword in the stone. He cracked through time and space. There was an earthquake, and people came out of their graves. And you see, when he died and rose again, it was a huge victory over Satan's kingdom, and as such, they are desperately trying to get out of what they are stuck in. They are stuck in the womb, in the matrix, and all of this is contributing over these years, over these end times. As things build up and build up, you see the society changing, doubly each year, doubly, triply. you know, just really changing. This is all a process this is all a process of the beast coming upon the earth. This is all a process of the matrix coming upon the earth and heading towards the time that the Bible says that the world will start to wander after the beast. So that is exactly it right there. All contained in there. Just like this Dali painting, the rising of the sun, the cracking open of the egg, the heart of the earth, the yolk, the egg, the heart of the earth, the cracking open. We're going to go more into how Jesus defeated Satan's kingdom in the future. And that obviously all involves the heart of the earth, as Jonah was in the belly of the great fish. The Antichrist, the false Christ, comes from the heart of the earth. And it's all about this, guys. It's all about this 911 IXXI, the generative principle, as above, so below. Alchemy, fire and water. The perfect storm, hot meets cold. All the same representations. 7, level 7, the womb. The tombstone is the womb stone, the 2 pillars, the 2 towers, with the 3rd building in the centre, bringing it down. And speaking of cracking through time and space, you see how between the 2 pillars here, portal, black sun portal, between the 2 towers, cracking through time and space. And that is exactly it right there. And you see how this is a complete inversion of Christ, of Jesus Christ. This is Antichrist. This was an Antichrist ritual. A complete inversion. Because right there you've got the Isis figure, the false light, and the two pillars through the twin towers, and with the building 7, so you get them pillars, you get those pillars coming down, you got the figure in the center of it, bringing these down and collapsing building 7, which would be the cornerstone, the cube. Just like we said about the cube fell open behind the veil in Herod's temple. The cube fell open when Jesus was crucified and the veil broke. Well, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Except this time, this is coming from within the womb. This is coming the other way. This is coming out. Everything of Christ is inverted with the Antichrist. So this is what you get. The 2 towers, the twin towers, the veil, and you'd get this Isis figure on the cube there, see, on the cornerstone, coming through the veil from the other way. And it's about breaking it out of the womb. It's about breaking the fallen out. All of this coming through the veil. Samsung G. Samsung, son of Sam. Samael. Samael. Another name for Satan. Samael, son of Sam. So Samsung, break this word up. Sam, Son, G. Between those pillars, like Samson. Samson, son of Sam. Samson, G. The G between the 2 pillars in Freemasonry, within the IXXI, pushing down the 2 pillars, the son of Sam, pyramid there in the logo for Samsung. And it comes from the womb of Saturn. If you don't believe me, if you think that's absolutely ludicrous, well, just keep looking at the evidence which is all around us. look at this album cover just for one example. Dizzy Wright, look at this. You see there how round the edges it's got the vinyl. Well, the vinyl round the edges stands for the rings of Saturn. So you can see on this album cover called the Golden Age, which is many will know what that is, the Golden Age of Saturn, the return to Eden. So you've got the rings of Saturn round the outside. You've got this lady, this woman in the centre. It's about Cain's house, you know. Coming through that door, she's pregnant. She's pregnant. So this is coming out of the womb. So there you've got right there. This is coming out the womb, which is in Saturn. You've got the mother there with a pregnant belly. The Golden Age, the whole thing is transfigured to gold. So it's the transfigured ox, the transfigured, the belly of the beast. This is shown time and time again. Time and time again. And she's got like an ultrasound. The prince of the power of the airwaves. This is shown time and time again. Them breaking out of the womb, the age of Horus, the Antichrist, the transfigured Isis, the false Jesus, the counterfeit Messiah. Many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and shall deceive many. They want to deceive even the very elect. So you understand that this figure, like the Samson type figure in that role, pushes down the two pillars at the expense of thousands of people as blood sacrifice of the innocent, and then rebuilds into, like the rise of the phoenix, like the new age of Lucifer. And that is exactly what's playing out. And that's exactly what they plan, what the elite plan, what the fallen plan. And that is a direct inversion of what happened with Jesus Christ, because he is the truth. And this is the only way for them to do it, because they have to do what they need to do. They're not playing about here. These are real rituals. These have to symbolically pertain to what it needs to for it to be effective and for it to work. They're not just doing it because they're evil. They're not just organising these mass human sacrifice things because they're evil. They're doing it because there's a very specific and targeted purpose. Even since the days of Aleister Crowley, they've been trying to do this. God bless you guys. And if I get called influenced by demonic spirits for revealing the truth, then persecute away, because I'm not going to stop spreading the truth. I'm not going to stop spreading the truth. I understand your psychological games. I understand those out there with psychological tactics that try and employ them to intimidate, to make you doubt what you're doing, to make you doubt your calling.
Do you not think an angel rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm? This work continues. The story goes on. And an angel still rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm. God bless you all. And God bless America.
Get ready to read all these words on this page without making a mistake. Look at the letter at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready. King. Yes, king. Sound it out. Get ready. King. Sound it out. Get ready. King. What word? King. Yes, king. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready. Seal. What word? Seal. Yes, seal. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Play. Yes, play. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready. High. Yes, high. Get ready. Kick. Yes, kick. Get ready. Steal. Yes, steal. Get ready. Blame. Yes, blame. Get ready. Mud. Yes, mud. Open your book up to lesson 60 on page 150.
You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever.
Everybody ought to see Jesus in the morning. See Jesus in the noonday hour. See Jesus in the evening before the sun is going down. He said, and it shall be given to you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you, and He will come on in and love with you a while. Everybody, seek Jesus in the morning. Seek Jesus in the noonday hour. Seek Jesus in the evening before the sun is going down. He said, and it shall be given to you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you, and He will come on in and sup with you a while. Hallelujah. Yes, He will. He'll come in. He'll come in. If you seek Him, He'll come in. If you seek Him, He'll come in. Bless your name, Jesus. Bless your name, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.